What is up, everybody? Hobby with Cage, episode 262, brought to you by Arena Club and Card Ladder. So let's talk. I try to do 5 minutes. It's never 5 minutes. I try to keep it brief. This way, I get to the point here. Couple fun things. Number one, the upper deck guy. I forgot his name already because I never heard of him before this, statement he made on LinkedIn, which is where everybody goes to post important things now, I guess. Uh, it's probably why no one else saw it. What's in my news? Yeah, the hobby's not on a good trajectory and blah, 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 blah. Okay. I mean, some auctions ended again last night. I saw a LeBron Prism sell for like $300,000, but that's not even the point. Like, even the lower end stuff and alt and in Golden Weekly, I mean, they're all doing very well. There's a lot of, attention on cards, on sports. Otani's pictures everywhere. I don't know whether he's going to win the World Series or not, but his pictures everywhere. There's stories about him everywhere. I mean, I was commuting home from work yesterday, and in the train station, I had a big picture of Otani up, and like everyone wants to know about Otani. People in my office, hey, do you have any cards of him? You have any extras I can give to my kids? Cards are just going to be just fine. So that's my fun take on that. I don't even want to address that because, I mean, anybody who wants to come in and talk about the health of the hobby, now is probably not the time. I've been, involved in this space in one way or another, since I first opened a pack over 40 years ago. And the hobby's as strong as it's ever been. And it's as fun as it's ever been. So much variety, so much stuff for everybody to do, so many cool places to get your hobby information and just learn about it, and so many different lanes to kind of, enjoy this space that I've been known myself to be a little contrarian and kind of take some shots and stuff here and there. And I'm not doing that now. Not, the momentum that the space has, kind of the innovation that's here, the money that's behind it. And that kind of leads me into my next story, which is a fun one here. I don't know if you guys have seen it or not, but Panini, the parent company, Panini, the global brand, has hired Citi to kind of explore a sale of it. And I saw a lot of lazy journalism out there about how can they do this? Like, how can they, while they're suing, Fanatics, also hope that Fanatics buys them? Or how can they, while they're suing Fanatics, say that, Fanatics put them out of business, but now when they're, putting themselves up for sale, say that they're worth so much more than, what they are. I've seen so many people say this. And I mean, I think that's just very silly. Obviously, the basketball and the NFL licenses are not the only thing that they have, right? I mean, what they're known for and their major thing here is soccer, stickers, you name it. We're talking about Panini, the global brand, not just Panini America, which is involved in the lawsuit. But I take this up. I mean, you want to talk about a hobby win. I've seen some posts now that this story came out, over the last 12 or so hours, saying, "Oh man, what the hobby needed was for Panini to go away. Panini sunsetting was great. We've had Panini for 15 years, and we just want to be done with the Panini. It's a chapter in the hobby, and it's another chapter. Like we have the Upper Deck chapter and the Panini chapter. We'll move on to the Fanatics chapter." Okay, I think that's short-sighted. I can understand a little bit about that, but go with me here. Panini gets sold. All right. There are different ways that Panini can be sold. Let's just say that they're folded into tops. Now, monopolies be damned and the whole 9 yards there, right? I mean, think about that, right? Saying that Fanatics buying the licenses creates a monopoly and you need competition, but then at the same time, you fold the only competition into the same brand. Let's just take antitrust and all that other, monopoly stuff out of the equation and say that that's where they go. Okay. It's a make sense type of move. And from a hobby perspective, think about that, right? In addition to the awesome tops brands, top sets, your Chrome and Dynasty that they have, you're able to pull Prism in if you want. You're able to pull in, Flawless. You're able to utilize some of the brands that have become very popular. Some of the releases that have become very popular over the last 15 years. And who wouldn't want that? I mean, imagine making, a Prism licensed set or be able to continue that Prism licensed set. I know everybody's been collecting these last couple of Prism sets, the last set of this, the last set of that, but maybe it won't be the last. And maybe you'll be able to continue to get Kabooms and Downtowns. Why the heck not? With licenses on them if they're folded into the a Topps umbrella, Fanatics umbrella, because Fanatics has the license going forward, right? So I mean, if Topps and Fanatics are the purchaser of Panini, I mean, how can that be bad? I know we want monopoly. Everybody's afraid price is going to go up. Prices have gone up, and no one cares. I mean, some people care, but the price has been sustained, right? Wax box prices are not going down. So, you have that as an option. Another option, private equity, somebody comes in and purchases Panini and tries to build a competing brand, building probably on their soccer licenses, and, they have WNBA and that kind of stuff. To me, that also makes sense. I don't know if anybody remembers this, but before Fanatics came in with the licenses and Topps, Topps there were SPACs that were looking at Topps. I mean, Mike Eisner, the Disney guy, had it for a while. And then I think Alex Rodriguez with a group of investors was looking to, buy Topps as well. You could see, look, if Kevin O'Leary, was really that into Upper Deck and Panini, flawless and exquisite cards, I mean, why not get a couple of the old sharks together and build up Panini? And, I mean, you could see something like that happening where, a $3, $4, $5, $6 billion, purchase is made for Panini, and maybe they make cards still. And the hobby wins there as well, right? Because Panini continues, and maybe you get a new infusion of cash, new innovation, a change on it. And here's where the hobby wins also. You're probably going to get rid of blockchain. Sorry, Spinatron. I mean, if Topps buys it, that Panini blockchain probably goes away. If somebody else buys it, that Panini blockchain kind of goes away. I mean, what do they got? Like, 27 active users of that. So, we don't have to worry about that blockchain anymore. I mean, if you're the high bidder on golden auctions now for an NFT somewhere, maybe be careful, but I'm only kidding. I mean, I guess that Panini blockchain makes money for them still. So maybe the new buyer will keep it, but if it's Topps has kind of sunset a lot of that, blockchain, NFT, stuff that they previously had. So that's an interesting question that I haven't heard anybody talk about yet. I haven't seen any long-winded posts from my friend Spinatron, who I love dearly, about, hey, if Panini gets sold, what happens to all those, non-fungible token cards that everybody's spending all this big money on? I don't know. I guess we'll see. But it's fun, right? It's fun to talk about. And the big thing about the hobby winning, it's Panini and Fanatics. Panini's been in the news for a while, for the last couple of years, because of a lawsuit, which is never a good thing, but it keeps it in the news, right? There's no such thing as bad press, right? I mean, if somebody else comes in and buys this, I mean, Upper Deck, hey, your CEO just came in and, announced that the hobby is doomed because there's no more ways for collectors to do what they need to do and buy cards, and the prices are bad, and, it's all about this top level and not that. Well, hey, CEO of Upper Deck, now when you read an article of, if I were the CEO of Upper Deck, I read that article and I would be on the phone saying, hey, is there a way for Upper Deck and Panini to kind of join forces here? Is there a way to maybe get a private equity group behind the two of us and form this like monolith, this new type of company? I don't know, Panini Deck or Upper Panini, Upper Nini, whatever you want to call it. And maybe use some of the brands we have on some of the licenses that they have. How about a Connor Bedard Kaboom? Celebrini. For those of you hockey guys that are out there who actually enjoy collecting that stuff, how about doing exquisite for soccer? How about a Messi exquisite card for the upcoming World Cup? I don't know. Crazier things have happened, and that's what I would be doing you know, and you hear that, you know, a brand like this is out there and, you know, exploring potential opportunities, you know, maybe don't go running to Fanatics and Tops. Maybe, you know, figure out a way for Leaf, Upper Deck, Panini, all you guys join forces. What the heck? Why not? Either way, I think good for the hobby. We all get to talk about it. We all get to think about it. And in the comments, what would you do? Right? In a perfect world, what would happen to Panini? Do they stay independent? Do they just keep doing what they're doing? And by the way, I believe the reason for this is not, oh, they lost their licenses. I think their longtime CEO passed away a couple of months ago. A guy who's been leading the company for 30 years. So, you know, that is what happens. You know, somebody who's been, you know, at the helm is no longer leading the charge. You explore, you know, different avenues of where to go with the company. I'm sure losing the licenses does not help them. And that's the point of their lawsuit. But what would you do? In a perfect world, do you like my idea about merging sort of Upper Deck and Panini working together? I mean, if Upper Deck is really caring about the collector and coming up with, you know, kind of a way for collectors to actually enjoy the cards and buy, you know, meaningful items, it seems like a nice little, you know, nice little marriage there. Haven't heard anybody else mention that. If I had all the money in the world, I would try to do something like that. I don't, not yet at least. But since I have sponsors like Arena Club and Card Ladder, one day soon I will have enough money to buy both Panini and Upper Deck and merge them myself like Voltron. And that's another episode of The Hobby with Cage. 262 of these. And if you've been along for the ride, trust me, I appreciate you. Because some of this stuff is, I mean, I don't know where in my brain I come up with this. I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care, everybody.